Humanitas Televisión presenta.
Este es Cinemagazín, el programa de opinión cinematográfica. Y en nuestra emisión de hoy les contamos qué largometrajes harán su ingreso en las salas de cine del país y también qué nos traen las plataformas de streaming para esta temporada. Bienvenidos. Iniciemos con una película que nos coloca en el universo de Shrek. El gato con botas ya ha consumido casi todas sus vidas, solo le queda una. Y para tratar de recuperarlas, deberá lanzarse a la mayor aventura que jamás ha vivido hasta el momento.
¡Soy el gato con botas! ¡Santos frijoles! ¡Eh, gigante! ¿Queréis ver algo bueno? ¡Gracias! ¡La leyenda jamás morirá!
Gato con botas, has muerto.
Tengo 9 vidas.
Y dime, ¿cuántas muertes llevas ya?
No, el gato con botas no necesita ayuda. Mira. Mira. Un gato siempre cae de pie. Mira.
Solo te queda una vida. Mamaluna siempre anda en busca de un gato faldero.
Yo no soy un gato faldero, soy el gato con botas. Y ya está.
Ya no más.
Miau.
Les presento a Pepinillo.
Oh, no.
Este es para las personas, Pepinillo. Tu retrete es ese.
Aquí es donde la dignidad viene a morir.
¿No tienes cara de Pepinillo?
Bueno, ni tú de gato.
¡Fuera máscaras! Soy un perro terapeuta. ¿Quieres rascarme la panza?
Ni de bromas. ¡Me han encontrado! ¡Ricitos de oro y los 3 osos, familia criminal!
Háganla hablar.
Disculpe, querida. Buscamos al legendario gato con botas. ¿Por casualidad lo ha visto?
¿Qué es un gato con botas?
¡Él soy yo!
¡Ah!
Bueno, me falta la espada, es el pack completo.
Ok.
Atrapa a este gato. Vivo o muerto estará muy bien.
Cada recompensa. Kiripatita suave, te necesito.
Cuando hago equipo contigo, todo sale mal.
¡Genial! ¡Otro miembro del equipo! ¡Soy su perro terapeuta!
¡Te he dicho que no!
Por fin, necesitas terapia.
¡Ay! Tengo que aprender a hacer eso.
¿Están pasando tus vidas ante tus ojos?
¡Suplica piedad al gato con botas! Un espresso.
No confío en ti.
Confía en mí.
Debes confiar en él. ¡Mira esos ojos!
¿Te parece tierno?
¡Con las patitas! ¡Lo estoy haciendo bien!
¡Detente! ¡Vas a sacarte una hernia!
Austin Butler y Tom Hanks llegaron a las salas de cine con una cinta que narra la vida y la carrera de la leyenda del rock and roll, Elvis Presley.
You're looking for trouble? You came to the right place.
We all know the icon of Elvis. But what always fascinates me are the intricacies of the human being. And he was the American dream.
My daddy was a green-eyed Elvis Presley!
Now that's an amazing thing, but that's also problematic when it comes to exploring his life. As Elvis said,
Mighty big stage.
it's very hard to live up to an image. And Austin went on an extraordinary 3-year journey to discover the human being.
Some people wanted to put me in jail because of the way I was moving.
I started with just being a sponge, you know, reading every book that I could get my hands on, watching everything and every image that I possibly could find, treating it like a detective, and then also working with a number of different vocal coaches on singing and working on that because the voice is so important with him.
It's just been an incredible joy to see Austin create such a dynamic portrayal of Elvis.
I have to say, you could not take your eyes off of Austin Butler, no matter what the scene was. Whether he's up on stage, performing, singing, full on, full tilt, the close to the best dedication was impressive right off the bat.
You want to do them justice and you want to honor them in their life. And he was such an extraordinary human being, larger than life itself. And it's been that thing of how do you climb Mount Everest just one step at a time.
Continuemos con las primeras imágenes de un filme que terminó de rodarse en Inglaterra e Italia en junio del año pasado. Harry Styles es el encargado de dar vida a Tom, un policía que se ve abocado a vivir una mentira en un mundo intolerante en la década de los años 50.
So how does it make you feel? You can sense the waves. You know how strong they are. Like swimming in rough surf. You feel they could crush you. Or take you under. You just have to let it take hold of you.
Jurassic World Dominion se convirtió en un éxito de taquilla, lo que demuestra el poder que tiene esta franquicia. Con este reboot, 6 películas, una serie animada y un corto, la historia del experimento que trajo a los dinosaurios desde la prehistoria aún sigue deslumbrando. Así fue la premier de esta producción. La función de la sexta y última película de la franquicia se llevó a cabo en el Grauman Chinese Theater. En la ciudad de Los Ángeles, actores, actrices y sus familias se congregaron para ver la conclusión de la era jurásica, en la que 2 generaciones se unen en una nueva aventura que se extiende por todo el mundo. Esta nueva entrega trae dinosaurios nunca antes vistos, acción y muchos efectos visuales.
Incredible.
In a word, incredible. Yeah. It's incredible.
And it also, it makes it so real. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in a Jurassic movie. Because we're on screen with Laura Dern and Sam Neill.
Yeah, and
Jeff
secretly
Goldblum.
we're always hoping that maybe they would be okay with what we had done with Jurassic World, but them joining the Jurassic World Dominion is like the ultimate validation. It's like not only are we so excited, but it's an affirmation that they were okay with what we had done, which is pretty great.
The legacy characters are together with like Bryce and Chris and Izzy and they come together. And there are moments in this movie where the factions come together and create a larger group and a larger group. And at some point, almost everyone is together. And there's something really moving about it to me.
And then eyesight this way. And then those eyes straight ahead, straight ahead. Okay, we'll get you ready for Universal.
This group is quite lovely, and I missed them all, so to see everybody, DeWanda and everybody who's here, kind of nice to run into them all again.
The dinosaurs are out there in the world is it's very different to what the other films have previously been.
Time to play. And that smile this way.
It was really important for Colin Trevorrow to incorporate the message that we need to care more about the earth, and we're responsible for not only ourselves, we're responsible for all of the creatures.
It carries on a tradition of being really scary and being an adventure and then being romantic and having really powerful characters, powerful women. There's so many things in this movie that we want to honor from Jurassic Park, but we also want to make this a new adventure that feels fresh and different. It's unlike anything you've ever seen before.
The franchise had to move forward because we blew up the island on the last one. Okay, so then it's how do you put the dinosaurs in the world so that people believe in that they could be here, that they can deal with reality that there could be something like a raptor right around the corner, and how is that acceptable? So it was tough to be able to do that. Having the legacy characters made it a lot smoother, just because you somehow believed that this had been going on for 20 or 30 years, and it wasn't something that you just cooked up a couple of shows ago.
Guys to the right. Right on. Laurel, thank you. There we go. Hey, you're in the right. And just time. Easy. Guys, you get your center, please. Right in for here. Sorry, over here. Right here in the middle, please. Thank you very much. Eye contact. Thank you.
Seguimos con un filme animado que tiene como protagonistas a una ciudad de gatos en apuros y a un héroe que nadie imaginó. Para Latinoamérica, Juan Pazurita será Hank y Faisy prestará su voz a Ikachu.
¡Wow! Eso sí, no me lo esperaba.
Nos surge un nuevo samurái.
Ok,
Sin miedo al éxito.
¿Pero qué pudos madre Cocker Spaniel está pasando aquí?
Sometimes you need a friend.
Suena que necesitas ayuda.
Wanna see you win.
Oye, esta es la parte en la que aprendo, ¿verdad?
¡Que no se te olvide caer de...
Sí.
¡Pie!
Focusing on me, way from Tel Aviv. New destination.
El aroma de la victoria en el aire. Tengo algo importante que decir. Yo soy tu padre. ¿Qué? Desde luego que no.
La censura evitará que Lightyear, uno de los filmes más esperados de la temporada, se vea en países como Arabia Saudí, Emiratos Árabes Unidos, Kuwait y en un puñado de países asiáticos como Malasia. La prohibición responde a una secuencia en la que Alicia, una exploradora casada con una mujer, le da un beso en la boca a su pareja. Así vivimos hace una semana su lanzamiento en Los Ángeles.
One more look back, thank you.
It's 4 years of hard work, not by me, by them. I mean, that's the kind of magic of Pixar. These guys give so much of themselves for so long, and they give us something that lasts a lifetime. So it really is nice to celebrate that. I mean, it's exciting, it's intimidating, a little daunting, but more than anything, it's an honor.
Well, it's a personal story for me. I've been connected to Buzz since I started the studio in 1997, and he's a character I really gravitated towards. It's always kind of stuck in the back of my mind. And so it's amazing to get to make a big budget sci-fi action movie starring Buzz and to complete the story about everyone's favorite space ranger.
I mean, when you think about reinventing IP or giving it a new life, this is what you're talking about. I mean, we all grew up loving Andy's most coveted toy, Buzz Lightyear, and now we get to know the world that Buzz came from, why that toy was invented, and that's what this premiere is all about. I mean, and it's so insightful with so many really key messages, but you know it's told in a really fun way. And the action, honey, you feel like you actually are in an action movie at some point. Like, they're not playing around with the special effects.
You have to see it on a big screen. It is made for the big screen. It's epic, it's big, it's action. It's great when people see any of our movies in any format, but the way to see this one is in the theater. Go ahead.
As always, we do a huge amount of research, and Angus MacLean and Galen Sussman went to NASA and studied this stuff to try to get all the details right, talked to the astronauts, and we're all kind of nerdy about all the space stuff, and to have an opportunity to study it and put some of it into the film has been really great.
It is kind of a celebration, isn't it? Especially post-COVID, everybody being able to come out without a mask on. But obviously the work that they've done, huge culmination of a huge effort. I just came back from space. It's I think making a movie is probably a little bit like getting ready for a space flight and executing one.
I don't know how often you get to do this, but it's rare for me, and getting to celebrate it with such creative folks that I really respect and admire is a big deal, and getting to see, that sort of inspirational sort of fandom is my juice, and so I get all lit up.
It's a film, as I think most Pixar films have been, that I've fallen in love with. It's got a lot of heart. This is a new kind of film for them. This is the first time they've ever done a sci-fi action adventure that's also a origin story. Yeah, so it's very exciting.
Some of the themes of this film are just self-discovery, themes of love. I think there are themes of, I think those are two big themes that are part of this film. Themes of self-discovery, themes of love, and finding oneself, are really big stories being told here.
I haven't seen a totally completed movie, but I was so impressed with what I saw, and the trailer, I thought we were looking at a real space film in the beginning. It's so well done.
This is amazing, because, putting it all together, bits and pieces, line by line, and then you see the animation and you see the way it's all attached. And then you see this whole complete film, it's fantastic.
In regards to all the Pixar films, every single film has a theme to it. And in this case, it's about hope. It's about teamwork, and look, life is hard, but with a good team, anything is possible.
To infinity and beyond.
I'm eternally grateful to Angus for having me on board and for having just such a clear vision of what he wanted this thing to look and feel like. And then he and I, just worked together to make it a story worth telling.
I'm really excited for audiences to have a brand new, fresh experience of what animation can be. particularly at the hands of Pixar and Disney, obviously. But this is something that the public has never seen before. We've seen a lot of animated pictures, and I've been in a lot of animated pictures. But the look of this piece, and the sound design of this piece, and its ability to sweep you away, and to cause you to hope and root for and feel optimistic. These are the things that we've been missing for the past couple of years. So you know what? It's going to be wonderful as a piece of entertainment, but I think most importantly, it's going to be a celebration of a return for all of us.
Right in the middle. One more time.
El turno ahora es para un thriller en el que los residentes de un remoto pueblo en California realizan un descubrimiento tan insólito como escalofriante.
You know, this whole film is all about as ambitious a cinematic event as I've kind of planned so far in my career. You know, I tried to write a script that I didn't know how to pull it off, and then assemble a team to help me pull it off. This is one of these days and these weeks where it feels really good to be a director.
What's a bad miracle? They got a word for that?
Ethan Hawke, nominado a 4 Oscar, encabeza el reparto del Teléfono Negro. Estas son sus impresiones sobre su interpretación del personaje más malvado de su carrera hasta el momento.
You know, 90% working with Scott Derrickson. I was interested before, just to get an email from him that I was on his mind to maybe collaborate with again. Sinister was a special movie in my career. It was a really challenging performance, and it kind of reawakened my love of genre movies. And I was turning 40 at that time, and it kind of opened the door to a different kind of character, an adult character. And so I was just inclined to want to work with him again. I don't really like playing villains. I don't really like inviting that kind of evil into my imagination and dancing with it. It's not something that floats my boat, as they used to say. But I read this script, and it was so beautiful. The kid's journey was so beautiful, and I could kind of see how this might be something new and different for me, and I could contribute in a different way. And you know, that's the thing about life. You got to keep changing the roadmap, right?
I'm a part-time magician. Would you like to see a magic trick?
The script is really well built. Scott's really confident about how to tell a story, and I loved that I wasn't asked to give all the answers. A lot of times, I think movies make a huge mistake in trying to say too much exposition. My characters, it's not a portrait of the grabber. You're seeing the grabber from the point of view of this young kid. And so it was just important how I impact him.
You know, Joe Hill's short story was interesting to me because it combined a serial killer story with a ghost story, which I'd never seen done before. But I also thought it was an interesting opportunity to make a scary horror film that still had a lot of empathy and heart and almost inspiration because it's a true coming-of-age story. And when I thought about combining that with my own memories of growing up in North Denver in 1978, I thought there was an interesting film to be made, and that's how this movie came about. I mean, I wrote the words and I gave him the masks, but how he speaks, how he gesticulates, you know, how he moves, where he stands, all of these things were things that Ethan knew how to do. And the result is, I think, a pretty memorable villain.
La nueva aventura de los Minions y su amado odiado líder Gru llegaron esta semana a las salas de cine. Veamos más imágenes de esta producción.
¡Ayúdenme! ¡Sálvenme! ¿Quién sabe qué aventuras nos estén aguardando?
Bla, bla, bla.
Minions, nace un villano.
Yo quiero trabajar de supervillano.
Minions, nace un villano.
Termina así esta emisión de Cinemagazín, el programa de opinión cinematográfica. Recuerden que para estar enterados de los estrenos cinematográficos, la información de las plataformas de streaming, las noticias del mundo del cine y la industria del entretenimiento, pueden visitar nuestro sitio web www.cinemagazin.net o buscarnos en nuestras redes sociales en YouTube, Facebook, Twitter e Instagram. Nos vemos la próxima semana. Chao, chao.
¿Por qué quieres casar? Porque ustedes creen que no puedo. Vi una señal en el cielo. Estoy lista. Mamá muy nicta. Hay algo allá afuera. Iré contigo.
No puedes.
Intento protegerte.
¿Protegerme de qué? Es hora.
Él sabe cómo cazar. Yo sé cómo sobrevivir. Lo que sea que hizo esto, lo cazaré.
Humanitas Televisión presentó Cinemagazín.